Full face-to-face classes have resumed in select public schools in the country. Students and teachers, though, were met with the perennial problem of classroom shortage. Malacanang has declared a state of calamity in 4 regions, days after the onslaught of Tropical Storm Paeng. Authorities have identified the supposed masterminds in the killing of radio broadcaster Percy Lapid. Cases are expected to be filed later this week. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Sean Yao. A dike in Maguindanao was heavily damaged by Tropical Storm Paeng, causing floods in nearby barangays. To tell us more, we have Mon Gualvez joining us live from Cotabato City. Hi Mon, what happened there in Maguindanao?
Sean, it's not just authorities and residents but even President Bongbong Marcos noticed the meager quality of the dike in Maguindanao during his visit yesterday. It was torn down due to the impact of Tropical Storm Paeng. Part of the dike in Simuay River in the town of Sultan Kudarat in Maguindanao del Norte was heavily damaged due to Paeng. An aerial shot showed the extent of the damage sustained by the dike. According to the local government, the river overflowed and flood water gushed in from the towns of Barira and Buldon due to heavy rains. The dike served as a protection for residents near Simuay River, which was a flood-prone community for years. After it was damaged, residents placed 10,000 sandbags to serve as a temporary wall to prevent flooding. The local government of Sultan Kudarat has asked for volunteers from 39 barangays in the town to help in producing more sandbags. Barangay officials say they are all willing to help to prevent more flooding. President Bongbong Marcos also ordered officials to focus on ensuring the quality of dikes in Maguindanao's river. This is also something that Maguindanao Governor Bay Mariam Sangki Mangudadatu is appealing to the Public Works Department. Sean, with 4 more typhoons expected to enter the Philippine area of responsibility this year, President Bongbong Marcos urges LGUs to study, prepare, and set up more stricter and stronger flood control mechanisms in the Bangsamoro region. Sean?
Thank you so much for that update. Mon Gualvez reporting to us live from Cotabato City. Thanks, Mon. The death toll from Paeng has climbed to 121. The NDRRMC reported that half of the fatalities are from the Bangsamoro region. At least 103 people were injured, while dozens are still missing. Paeng has affected around 3.2 million people, or over 927,000 families. Nearly 3,000 evacuation centers are being used to house displaced residents. The damage to agriculture has gone up to around 1.3 billion pesos, while the damage to infrastructure is now at around 897 million pesos. Malacanang has also issued Proclamation Number 84, declaring a state of calamity in 4 regions. These are Calabarzon, Bicol, Western Visayas, and the BARMM. President Marcos earlier thumbed down a proposal to declare a nationwide state of calamity. In other news, the masterminds behind the murder of broadcaster Percy Lapid have already been identified. Marlene Alcaide with the details.
Roy Mabasa, the brother of slain radio broadcaster Percy Lapid, arrived with his lawyer and spokesperson at the Department of Justice on Wednesday morning. This is for a case conference with Justice Secretary Boying Remulla and investigators from the National Bureau of Investigation. Authorities explained the timeline and showed the affidavits that they have gathered. Mabasa says authorities have already identified the alleged masterminds in the killing of his brother and the alleged middleman in the murder, June Villamor. However, he refused to give more details.
Meron ng tinutumbok, subalit I'm not at liberty to say to you kung ano yung mga pangalan o kakikilanlan. Hahayaan po natin ang DOJ na tapusin yung kanilang trabaho kasama ang NBI at ang PNP. At magkakaroon yata ng announcement in the next 1, 2, or 3 days habang nag-uusap tayo ngayon.
Mabasa said the second autopsy conducted by forensic expert Raquel Fortun helped in the investigation. Murder complaints are expected to be filed either on Friday or on Monday. Mabasa leaves it to the DOJ to reveal the details on the case.
May mga murder cases na isasampa pero hindi ko pa alam yung mga pangalan. We will await the final investigation na isusubmitin ng NBI at saka ng PNP. And by then siguro makakapagbitaw na tayo ng mga pangalan.
Meanwhile, the Mabasa family has accepted additional security assistance. However, they are not keen on being placed under the Witness Protection Program. This is despite the ongoing death threats that they have been receiving. For News 5, Marlene Alcaide, we are One News.
One News Now will be back with more stories after this quick break. Keep it here. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. People are back in Metro Manila after a long undas weekend that was spoiled by Tropical Storm Paeng. Gerard de la Peña joins us now from the EDSA Shaw Crossing for an update. Gerard, how is the commute on this evening rush hour on the first day back at work?
Well, Sean, this morning it was very difficult as thousands of commuters were greeted with issues on two train lines on the first day of the first working day of the week.
Engineers of the Philippine National Railways or PNR needed help from those working at the connector road close to the Santa Mesa station of the train line. This after the wheels of a coach slipped off the tracks. About 120 passengers were on board, but fortunately none of them got hurt.
Tumabingi. Baka sa yung gulong niya napunta sa lupa. Lumihis yung gulong niya. Daan-daan naman ang andar ng tren. Kaya lang talagang maano na yata yung release. Yun daw release ang may problema yata.
The PNR management said the soil underneath the rail softened due to incessant rains brought about by severe tropical storm Paeng over the weekend.
I think brought about by yung heavy rains in the past few days. Pagdating dito sa Santa Mesa, per train driver, bigla na lang o lumagabog at nalaglag na sila. So yun yung naging pangyayari.
The suspension of operations affected more than 500 passengers as well as trips going to Alabang, Bikutan, Binyan, and Tutuban. At around 8 a.m., operations went back to normal. Meanwhile, at the MRT-3, more than 3,600 passengers were affected after the train line temporarily halted operations at around 5 in the morning. The MRT management explained there was a problem with their signaling system which ensures that trains won't crash. After a couple of hours at around 7 a.m., commuters were let in.
Kinakailangan po i-reset lahat ng vital equipment ng MRT-3 after nung UPS maintenance namin. Kaso lang po, during the normalization, initially, it was okay. When we started operating the trains, meron pong lumabas na abnormal indication. That's why we have to reset para mag-normalize lahat.
The management failed to inform the public, resulting in long lines at the stations.
Kanina pa po akong alas 5 nakapila dito. Napakahirap po na walang MRT. Sira, hindi man lang nila in-anticipate kahapon na dapat tinignan na nila na kasi balikan ng mga tao ngayon, di ba? Oh, late na!
To offset the long queues, the MRT management added 2 more train sets.
Well, Sean, the MRT management said that operations are normal right now, and as you can see from where I stand, it's getting busier here, and the lines are getting longer but moving. As for the traffic along EDSA, well, it's moderate to heavy right now and looks like it's gonna be this way until around 8 or 9 in the evening. Sean.
Thank you so much for that update. Gerard De La Peña reporting to us live from EDSA Shaw. And public schools resumed full in-person classes today, but a shortage of classrooms still forced some schools to stick to the hybrid setup. Marian Enriquez with the report.
All public schools in the country are now required to implement 5-day face-to-face classes starting November 2. But Batasan Hills National High School says they will continue with blended learning. The school says they have to have 2 class shifts to accommodate the huge number of students. The school decided that 3 days will be for in-person classes, while the other 2 days are for blended learning. This is because the school only has over 100 classrooms to accommodate 18,600 students. If the school pushes through with full face-to-face classes, they will have to force around 60 to 90 students inside each classrooms. For now, they have divided the standard classroom into 2 to accommodate 25 students in each classroom.
Ano na bang learning ang makikita natin doon sa 31.5 na siksikan? Ito nga 25, mas gusto ng bata doon kasi lahat ng attention ay ibibigay doon sa mga bata, lalo ng mga slow learner na tututukan. Ngayon, pag sisiksikan mo rito, ayun na nga, nasa pandemya tayo, di ba? Pangalawa, siksikan, talaga namang hindi conducive to learning yun. At doon sa mga bata at mga teachers.
The school says they need 82 more classrooms to be able to implement the 5-day face-to-face classes. Aside from Batasan National High School, 50 schools were also permitted to continue blended learning in Metro Manila. Also exempted from the full face-to-face classes are schools affected by Paeng and previous typhoons.
We want to bring the learners back in school, but we have to bring them back safely also. So that's why under the amendatory DO, we also provided room for exemptions depending on the situation. Be it natamaan ng calamity, alangan naman ibalik natin yung mga learners pag ganyan, di ba? Kung highly congested, alangan naman isiksik natin yung mga learners sa isang classroom.
DepEd is also studying the possibility of institutionalizing blended learning in public schools as a solution to the classroom shortage in the country. Meanwhile, the DepEd NCR still encourages the wearing of face masks inside classrooms, despite it being made voluntary.
If you happen to see it, parang bumalik kami dun sa pre-pandemic classroom setup na marami talaga sa loob. So ang advice natin, since this is voluntary, so, mapapansin din naman natin na kahit yung mga bata, parang sanay na din na merong mask. So, ang bili natin ay mag-mask pa rin. Hindi naman siguro paglabag yun.
The Department of Health, for its part, says that they will defer with the DepEd regarding this policy decision. However, they remind the public that mask wearing will help prevent the transmission of COVID-19. For News 5, Marian Enriquez, we are One News.
And for more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.